And
What a
I'm very
joy!
grateful.
What a
Yeah,
joy to get your own batchmate. Very honor. क्या technology का कमाल है.
great. But thanks to you, Yash, very grateful. Give such a long
Okay, friends. Good evening, Jai Hind, and सत श्री अकाल, आदाब. आज बहुत खास दिन है क्योंकि ये प्रेरणा सीरीज के अंदर आई हैव गॉट द बेस्ट गेस्ट आई कुड हैव गॉट दिस मंथ. आपको पता है प्रेरणा सीरीज हम पिछले 4 हफ्ते से कर रहे हैं. एवरी संडे 7 o'clock आई कम लाइव विद यू. आई bring a guest who can inspire you, who can tell you so many things about the फौज. एंड मैक्सिमम आप जो है फौजी एस्पिरेंट्स हैं, तो टू सी समबडी लाइव इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू एंड टू आइडेंटिफाई कि यार ये कर सकते हैं तो हम भी कर सकते हैं. तो आज मेरे गेस्ट हैं ब्रिगेडियर संजय ठाकुर, युद्ध सेवा मेडल, सेना मेडल, मेंशन इन डिस्पैचेस. मेंशन इन डिस्पैचेस एक बहुत यूनिक अवार्ड है विच इज जस्ट बिलो द सेना मेडल, और ये बहादुरी के लिए दिया जाता है, लेकिन लोगों को इसके बारे में ज्यादा पता नहीं है. तो आई हैव एन ऑफिसर इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी who's got Youth Seva Medal Gallantry, Sena Medal Gallantry and Mention in Dispatches. और संजय ठाकुर और मैं, we go back long time. We were cadets in IMA direct entry, both CDS. हम CDS direct entry है, कॉलेज से धक्के खा के आए हुए हैं फौज में. And but we were together in IMA, and then of course संजय ठाकुर की लाइफ और हमारी लाइफ कुछ दिन पैरेलल चली, उसके बाद बहुत अलग हुई. He got commissioned into 5 Bihar, but decided to volunteer for Para SF and then joined 9 Para SF, commanded 9 Para SF. तो बहुत सी बात करेंगे. तो सबसे पहले संजय, what a pleasure to see you. Welcome to my show.
Thank you, Yash. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It's an honor coming back to you, and we share a very long history. I'm really grateful for calling me to your show.
And we are already touching within first 1 minute 150 live on YouTube. और ये फिगर ना अब ये बढ़ता जाएगा अभी, क्योंकि जैसे जैसे नोटिफिकेशन जाएंगे. तो संजय ना, मैं आपकी लाइफ तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, बहुत जबरदस्त है. आई थिंक जो आपने किया ना, बहुत कम लोगों ने अपनी जिंदगी में किया है. तो लेकिन हम तार जोड़ेंगे आपके बचपन से. टेल अस समथिंग अबाउट योर चाइल्डहुड, अबाउट योर स्कूल, योर पेरेंट्स, जो भी आपका स्कूल का जो टाइम था.
Yes, school, I will divide it in 2 parts, up to class 5th and beyond 5th standard. So up to class 5th, I hated school, and I hated each and every teacher. I used to think that they are, devils, and I was always out of the class. I was standing on the bench. I was standing outside the class. I was on some tree, some bush, hiding somewhere. And I said, this is no way. This is no way. And I complained to everybody and anybody, this is not the way to treat children. I thought the teachers were very strict, and they should have patience with everybody. And especially Fauji children, my father was also in the Air Force more than 3 decades. And every 2 years, we are changing locations. It's a very big strain and stress on children, And this I would like to mention because, you hear, we are Doon educated, we are convent educated. हम तो धक्के खा कर जो है.
हम भी ऐसे हैं संजय. मैं तो गांव में पैदा हुआ हूँ. मेरे फादर फौज में थे, सिपाही थे, सूबेदार मेजर बन गए जब तक हम फौज में आए. आई जॉइंड मिलिट्री स्कूल आफ्टर 5th, तो थोड़ा स्टेबिलिटी आ गई. बट आई एग्री विद यू, स्कूल में ऐसी कोई बात नहीं थी. इनिशियली तो मन करता था ये कोई जगह नहीं है पढ़ने की.
Yeah, so till 5th standard, I was a rebel. Every teacher whipped me or punished me. They said, this guy is very impatient and he wants something we are not able to understand. And what I wanted was respect. That you don't, just because I come, and every year I'm changing my school or 1.5 years, you did not accept me. That was hurting. You have to accept anybody who's coming to your school or class. Give him his due, give him his time, and you will see his potential. That was missing, and it hurt me. So I was a rebel.
और उसके बाद 5th के बाद,
after 5th standard, my father handed over, a new hockey stick and some lovely leather balls. He said, "Bache, isse khelo." So I started playing hockey, 5th standard and 6th standard onwards. And then, it was a passion. 8 hours every day, 4 hours in the morning, early in the morning, then go to school, and 4 hours after school. So it was a passion, and my, aim was to play for the country in Olympics, represent India in hockey. And of course, because of so much of, strenuous sports, morning and evening, studies took a backseat. And my father said, doesn't matter, you concentrate, you achieve your dreams. And that was my dream. So yes, I was, a best student. I was a school captain. I was everything after, you can say, from sixth standard onwards.
That's very
So there
good.
are
Which
two
school
parts.
was this? कहाँ थे आप? 6 to 12th, where were you? 6 to
Yeah, all Kendriya Vidyalayas.
अच्छा, ओके ओके.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
केंद्रीय विद्यालय में हॉकी, क्योंकि जनरली मैं देखता हूँ स्पोर्ट्स ना बोर्डिंग स्कूल में तो होता है, बट डे स्कूल में स्पोर्ट्स का इतना खास कल्चर हो नहीं पाता है.
नहीं, it was just an individual passion. Individual passion. I represented केंद्रीय विद्यालय संगठन, which is, the all India के भी टीम एक बनता है पूरे हिंदुस्तान का. एंड वो टीम जो है स्कूल गेम्स फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया, जो हाईएस्ट टूर्नामेंट होता है स्कूल्स में, तो वी वेंट एंड रिप्रेजेंटेड, आई वेंट एंड रिप्रेजेंटेड दैट. And of course, then, played for Tamil Nadu state in juniors, played for subsequently, various universities, including Punjab University, Madras University. Passion was, and so that, of course, changed the whole thing. So my first 5 years in school was, I feel,
ठीक है. वो I think, but yeah, love of hockey, and then you were into university team. एंड आई हैव सीन यू ऐसे जब तुम आईएमए की हॉकी टीम में आए, और वी वर वेरी प्राउड कि हमारे बैच में जो डायरेक्ट एंट्री आए सीडीएस एंट्री से, उसमें कई धुरंधर लोग थे, और उसमें संजय ठाकुर वाज वन ऑफ देम. एंड वेरी क्विकली, क्योंकि फर्स्ट टाइम हमारा साथ था, एंड आई थिंक पहली बार जब हमारी मुलाकात हुई तभी मुझे पता लग गया था कि यू आर अ नेशनल लेवल हॉकी प्लेयर. तो आईएमए की टीम के लिए खेलने का कितना मजा आया आपको टू रिप्रेजेंट आईएमए इन हॉकी?
Yeah, actually, Yash, when I was playing here for Tamil Nadu State, and we met the Chandigarh team in junior nationals, and they said कि ये तंबी है तमिल नाडु टीम, इनको तो चेप देंगे. हमने उनका इतना रगड़ा लगाया, वो जितने सरदार थे, दे आर ऑल क्लोज फ्रेंड्स ऑफ माइन टुडे, बट पीट कर हमने बुरा हाल कर दिया उनका. एंड दे जस्ट अबाउट स्क्रैप्ड थ्रू एंड वन इन दैट मैच. So their coach invited me to join, DAV Chandigarh, and he said, we will give you a scholarship. So 250 रुपए में जो है मुझे वहां पर एडमिशन मिला, और 250 रुपए में वो कॉलेज का जो है ना हॉस्टल, उसमें मुझे उन्होंने एडमिशन, बोला खाना पीना आपका सब कुछ फ्री है, आप प्लीज यू कम.
Then you joined DAV college for your graduation.
Yeah, so I was studying in Loyola College, Chennai, and they were looking up to me, but I told them that, see, I want to play for the country. So I switched overnight, and uska bhi ek ye hai, my father, of course, he said there is no way. बच्चे पहले बात तो पैसे नहीं है, how do I send you to, I said, I don't care. You have to send me. He said, पैसे ही नहीं है. So रात के 12 बजे outside my room, मैं टहल रहा था कि अभी बस 1 घंटे के बाद मैं भाग जाऊंगा यहाँ से, because they told me you just reach us. So my father said at 12 o'clock he saw me strolling outside. He said, बच्चे, I used to come from a very good, well-to-do family, and my father wanted to be a pilot, and his father was a very good businessman. And he said, there is no way you are taking over my business. So he ran away. He ran away to Chennai, again Chennai, and he joined as a soldier, as an airman in Air Force. And his father died of a heart attack, shock. So he said, now you are going to commit the same mistake. So he said, I have no money, but whatever little bit I have, I am giving it to you. You go. So I went the next day to DAV Chandigarh, and I have not looked back. I went and played there for Punjab University, and the same coach, and they all welcomed me.
किस पोजीशन में संजय खेलते थे आप?
I used to play left back and left half. I was a penalty corner.
You were a strong guy, and it was not easy to tackle ball through. हॉकी में आपने देखा हमारे भी जितने बैक्स रहे हैं, back has to be strong legs, strong arms, because थोड़ा बहुत body play भी आ ही जाता है ना.
very right. And but my main USP was I was a good penalty corner specialist.
Oh,
So जिस टीम के लिए भी मैं खेलता था, मैं penalty corners I used to convert. So that is how I went to Punjab also, there also for the DAV college also, and so whatever.
तो
So
ये फिर
that,
आईएमए का कीड़ा कहाँ से लगा सीडीएस क्लियर करने का, और ये डीएवी
yeah.
कॉलेज में लगाऊंगा ये?
Yeah, thank you, Yash. It's a lovely question. So dreams and destiny, I want all our children and youth to understand. My only passion from sixth standard was to represent the country in Olympics. Not even just representing. I wanted to play for the country in Olympics and win the Olympic gold. This was my passion. Day in and out. मैं पहला बस पकड़ता था यश सुबह 4:30 4:45 एंड वहां पहुंचता था, 1 घंटा जो लगता था चेन्नई के एयरपोर्ट वो स्टेडियम एगमोर स्टेडियम पहुंचने के लिए. एंड देन आई यूज्ड टू प्ले. द चार्ल्स हमारा कोच था, हु वाज द इंडियन कोच आल्सो. सो ही वो छोड़ता नहीं था, इतना रगड़ा. एंड देन आफ्टर दैट टेक अ बाथ देयर ओनली इन द स्टेडियम, रश टू द स्कूल and attend miss the assembly and all I used to miss, but I used to straight away go to the class. And then again in the 7th period rush back through a bus, play there for 3-4 hours, and then reach home at 10 o'clock in the night every day for years together.
that is some routine, yeah.
8 hours every day. And when I used to miss the bus, my father used to put me in his scooter and used to drive all the way 1.5 hours. Ki bache, you can't miss.
No,
Yeah,
I can see two things out of this. One is your dad, great man,
Yeah.
I must tell.
Yeah.
Not many dads those days will tell यार तू ये बॉल ले, हॉकी खेल, तू अपने सपने साकार कर.
Very right.
दूसरा, वो जो जिंदगी में एक टर्निंग पॉइंट आता है ना, वहां कई बार माँ बाप सिकुड़ जाते हैं या एंकरेज नहीं करते, तो बच्चे बहुत से कर नहीं पाते हैं कुछ. बट ही अलाउड यू टू गो टू डीएवी चंडीगढ़. यार यू विल, बिकॉज नेचुरली चंडीगढ़ वाज हॉकी के लिए, पंजाब हमेशा ही वो रहा है बेटर देन तमिलनाडु. तो दीज टू थिंग्स आर really amazing part. So ये CDS पे थे हम. ये
yeah. So as soon as I went, I played for university, then various things and various tournaments all over the country. I have played every tournament. I have played. At that time उसी वक्त जो है वो भी आ रहा था, AstroTurf आ गया था, तो उसके ऊपर भी खेला. So one day what happened, वो coach did not play two very good players. So I walked up to him and injustice I cannot stand. Yes, I cannot. Everywhere I have fought throughout my career, I have fought with almost every senior. I have fought. They hate me. They're all my friends today. Yeah. I will take their names whenever you tell me. I'll take their name. They're very sweet people, but I fought with everybody. So I told this coach, "What are you doing?" He said, "Tu apna na game khel. You don't bloody do all this nonsense. You allow me to do my work." I said, "Nahi sir. टीम हार जाएगा, ये 2 बंदों को खिलाना है." So what happened, the next game he dropped me, and I was a well established player. The whole of Chandigarh knew me. Everywhere, every tournament, I used to be their backbone. And it was not that, it was just that I wanted those 2 teammates also to play because they were good. उसने मुझे drop कर दिया. There was a team from abroad which had come, and it was a exhibition match. He made me sit outside. And then, when I left back, that is when this is just politics, even in game today, even I see it even today.
Politics, I know.
Lot of politics. So उसने मुझे बाहर बिठा दिया. It was a foreign team. All the spectators started rooting the coach. Why are you making him sit outside? So he brought me in the last 10 minutes. And at that time, the match was even. It takes time for a left back or a goalkeeper, for even any other player, for the eye to set. Before my eye could set and I could see the ball, we see the ball as a football. That's how, any player.
Yeah, I know.
It takes 2 to 3 minutes to adjust. And by that time, the pace of the game it is tremendous.
Frantic pace.
You don't generally change the defender, but he did it. So after I entered, within 3 minutes, they scored a goal. And so he wanted to show me in poor light. So after the match, we lost by 1 goal. And I said, this is not done. You should not have allowed me inside, or you should have brought me earlier. So that was the day I hung up my stick. I said, politics is not acceptable. you are trying, that means you will not allow me henceforth. That all my mehnat which I have done for so many years. So I was sitting in, and we were about 25 people who were in sports college there in DAV Chandigarh, who were preparing for, the CDS. I was not one of them. I had not even thought about it.
अच्छा,
So
ओ
one day, I was nowhere. I said, only hockey is my passion. So I was just thinking, अब मुझे कहाँ जाना चाहिए? Because this guy is not going to allow me to play. I have fought with him openly. Fought in the sense, yes, I have never, fought with anybody. Actually, I have never. I'm a very non-violent person. Very non-violent. There is no way I can raise my hand on anybody, whatever it is. Anyway, so I was sitting, and 2-3 people came to me, my friends, and they said, क्या हो गया संजय? I said, यार उससे लड़ाई हो गया, वो तो he is not allowing it. This is not done. Such a good player, me and then others also. He wants to get his whatever relatives or whatever. So they said, छोड़ना, you go to join the forge, and from services you play. So I said, is it so easy? He said, कुछ भी नहीं है, एक किताब पढ़ना है और join करना है. So I was quite excited. Immediately I said, यार मुझे भी. And then, the days passed, Yash, and I was studying. Then one of my friends, I had done something for him. One of the next interviews, whenever you call me, I will explain what I did for him. Okay. He was very happy. So he came and met me. He said, Sanjay, I'm very happy. You're studying last 1 month. Where is the book? पैसे तो होते ही नहीं थे. Yash, I just want to share with you, I had no clothes. My friends gave me clothes. I never saw a movie. My friends took me for movies. You name a thing, all my friends did for me. My father had no money to send to me ever.
और चंडीगढ़ जैसे शहर में रहना, कॉलेज में यार पिक्चरें भी देखनी होती हैं, सेक्टर 17 में भी जाना होता है.
हाँ, they were so considerate. I never asked for anything of my parents ever and of my friends. They used to say, यार ये पैंट तेरे 6 महीने हो गए, ले, you take my pant, you take my shirt. What is your shoe size? Okay, all these shoes are yours. So they looked after me. I never felt the need. Anything and everything, the whole hostel used to look after me. So he came and asked me, Sanjay, did you fill up the form? I said, ये क्या होता है? मुझे तो पता नहीं. I was studying without filling up the form. So this guy said, अरे Sanjay, tomorrow is the last day. I said, यार चलो ठीक है, अगले बार करेंगे. You can't imagine this guy. By evening, he came back with the form. And it is not an easy form to fill up. And the next day we had a match. So he said, you just sign over here and you give me your documents. So I gave him a photocopy of all the documents. And tomorrow was the last day by noon. He said, you don't worry. He went all the way by bus to Delhi and he gave the form at 10 o'clock next day.
At the UPSC gate.
At the UPSC gate. And
आज तो ऑनलाइन होता है, last minute. This is fascinating. This was in 83.
This was in 83. Yes, 83. He gave that by, I think, by October, November, December, he gave it. And he did not come back to me. It just after 1 or 2 months when the hall ticket came, I understood, I have to study. And then those same, 25, 30 people who are studying, they said, when I finish this book, you study. Then that when he finishes, so their books I read.
And culture भी था चंडीगढ़ में CDS का.
Very
DAV college was a big producer. It was a, है ना?
You're right. For students, Chandigarh is the best place. Everyone was studying for either IPS or IAS or CDS or railways, you name a thing. So it helped me. And after my,
you cleared in first chance? CDS
first chance.
And
Absolutely.
What about SSB? Aapki SSB?
Yeah, yes, SSB also. Then after that, I came and joined back Loyola College, Chennai. I said, let me do MA over here. Yeah, so I came back and again I met Charles. He said, "Bache, aaja tu ground mein." Now we will start where we left. So I was playing for Madras University in the inter-university there. And the call letter came. I was somewhere in Madurai or somewhere. And they told me, you just catch the train from there. You have to go to Allahabad. So so during my university tournament, I went to Allahabad, and again all my friends, hockey friends, they are still very close friends of mine. They knew that I never had any money, nothing, absolutely. So even today in my purse, there's hardly anything, because once you are used to not having money, you will feel there is no requirement of any money. So I got a train where everyone contributed. I went, and there I met Gulab Singh Rawat. He's our SSB.
Yeah. Again, a great guy from our batch.
A great guy. So in that whole batch, just the two of us got selected. But I would like to say, Yash, all the years of my hockey, and I had not read a single book, no coaching class, nothing, absolutely nothing. I did not know S of SSB. What is this? I did not know. Really? And they used to just say, हाँ भाई अभी just give a lecture on this. अच्छा ये जो है ना ऐसे करना, whatever, that little bit of briefing, and I just took it on. And after 10 days they told me, you are selected, now go for the medical. And
so this is important कि आपने CDS तो जो written exam clear कर लिया books वगैरह के साथ, and you are above average in studies, but to clear SSB without any coaching, any guidance, fresh, bilkul.
Yeah. No, they were very happy. All the instructors, they said, you have not attended. I said, sir, I don't know. My father told me, if you are fit, you will get selected. If you are unfit, they will throw you out. Don't worry. So I said, okay, that's the only one line he told me. And he said, just face them, and whatever they ask, tell them. From your heart, you tell them. Yeah. And everybody just, I just went through like a shot. So I tell
first chance CDS, first chance SSB, and January 84 you land up in Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. Huh?
Yeah,
which battalion, which company you were in?
Yeah, I was in Thimaya battalion in Mektila company.
That was where that obstacle and all
obstacle
is
course. Yeah.
I was in Bhagat battalion near the tea gardens. So the life here like near the swimming pool. Acha, now little bit about your IMA days, because you are a very popular guy. I knew in IMA. First term to second term में NDA वाले आ जाते हैं. So just share us your experiences of IMA.
Yeah. I was, one of the fittest, and so everybody, whether direct entry or ex-NDA, they liked my, attitude and positiveness. Everybody guided me, including the instructors guided me. And but I did not know anything of what to expect, like as earlier. So I had the best of friends left and right. Gulab Singh Rawat and Rajinder were close by.
Rajinder was a gymnast. Punjab regiment, who had taken part in 82 Asia trial and all that.
Asia also. Yeah,
Roman rings. He had an amazing body.
amazing, and a lovely person.
Yeah.
So Gulab was also, next to where, same platoon, three of us. So so it went through, whatever our instructors or our seniors asked me to do, I did. So they said, yeah, don't hurt yourself, we know you're very fit. So they protected me, and they said, you in all the games you participate. And so I enjoyed IMA. It was unlike Air Force, and that is how one of the reasons I wanted to join instead of Air Force, Army, because Army was more realistic. More real. I had seen Air Force life, so it was more for pilots. Yes, it is very good. For the administration and all, थोड़ा सा मतलब मुझे लगा कि challenge नहीं.
Not as adventurous. As exciting. Let's put it at that.
Yeah.
अच्छा, तो ये बताओ मुझे, तो IMA you excelled in almost everything. You excelled in physicals, and you were all over there. You played for the IMA hockey team. तो ये कौन था जिसने आपको गाइड किया कि आप हॉकी खेलो? You can play for services and all, and you must join Bihar regiment. ये 5 Bihar का एंगल कहाँ से आया? How did you join your first unit, that is 5 Bihar?
Yeah, what happened was, मुझे धक्का लगा IMA जाने के बाद, because everyone had told me that from IMA you can participate in the services hockey team, and you can go for their trials and all. When I landed up over there, the commandant, I think I forget his name. I think Himmat Singh
guards.
So so he yes. So he told me, "Nahi, bache, that is only for men. For officers, you have to undergo the whole 1.5 years. After that, you can participate." So उसमें मुझे धक्का लगा that my dream of going to represent our country is थोड़ा धक्का लग गया. So then I said, everyone said we will send you to ASC. They have the best team, and you are stationed at Jalandhar.
ASC had a good team, and
Yes,
Signals also had a good team, which
and
was
a good
stationed
team.
in Jalandhar में रहती थी ये team.
हाँ, Jalandhar में, very right. So I said no, that is not because I knew that my dream, it's a little difficult to achieve. So I said soldiering is which came easily to me. And as I forgot to mention earlier, we draw a lineage from Rana Pratap. Our forefathers, when Rana Pratap lost his battle and he moved out from Mewad area, that is present day Udaipur, all our families went to various places. Our forefathers went and served as soldiers in Raja of Mysore, that area. And then he gave us pattas of land. And so in the south, about nearly 300 families are still there in down south.
You are actually a proper Tambi, that means.
Yes. So from
This
from
is
there,
news to me.
from Rajasthan, Mewad, we are Chauhans actually. We are Chauhan.
Okay.
So that is how from there we came to Raja of Mysore, and after that we came down to south and we settled down. The pattas of land were given to us, and so we are here. So that is it. So I said no, this is not what I wanted. So I said let's give it a shot one or two times. So I opted for Bihar. There's nobody guided me. Nobody guided me. I took it on
बिहार का
my own.
मुझे याद है अच्छी टीम थी बिहार की और इनके सेंटर की भी अच्छी टीम थी और मैं भी हॉकी को बहुत फॉलो करता रहा हूँ उस दिनों में ना आई यूज्ड टू आल्सो प्ले हॉकी एंड लेफ्ट इन राइट इन कभी मतलब फ्रंट लाइन में खेलता था फॉरवर्ड में और फॉलो करता था डुंगडुंग वगैरह थे मुझे याद है
Very right. Dungdung is from 5 Bihar, my battalion.
अच्छा
He guided me. Yeah, then there was Manohar Topno. Dungdung was of course an Olympian.
Both are national, international players.
Yeah, they played, and I had Sushil Topno, who was also representing our country. So I had two international stars in 5 Bihar.
So they were still serving that time.
They were still serving. Somebody, guided me to the correct battalion. On its own, it came. So so that is how I landed up in Bihar.
तो कैसा रहा वहाँ कितने दिन रहे आप बिहार रेजिमेंट में अपनी
Bihar when it was excellent. Infantry battalion is the Adi battalion. It's one of the best, the workhorse. You are aware, it's the workhorse of the Indian Army. So as soon as I landed up, we went off to Leh Ladakh area. And every post, the 2IC or there, Bharat Singh, I remember, he used to say, Sanjay, I have to get you fit for Leh Ladakh, and then we are going to Siachen. So every day he used to point out a peak to me. He said, by last light, you have to come back. Before first light, you...
कहाँ पर थे तब आप ये?
हम Leh Ladakh में थे, Darbuk area. We were, in
you got commissioned, the unit वहाँ थी?
We went straight to, Leh Ladakh.
अच्छा,
we went, yeah. So वहाँ पर, every day, before first light, I used to, with one person, he used to nominate somebody to accompany me. He used to climb a peak, and by last light, I used to come back. So I did it for months and months. Then one day he told me, Sanjay, so what are you doing? I said, sir, वो आपने बोला था तो हर रोज मैं एक पीक चढ़ता हूँ. अरे यार वो तो एक हफ्ते बोला था, अभी तो 6 महीने हो गए.
Amazing, यार. तो तुम तो mountaineer बन सकते थे. You could have gone to Mount Everest, यार, with this training.
Yeah. So he was very happy, Bharat Singh. So he said, yeah, great. Yeah. So then whatever. So we went to, from there we went. All that was our training, and then we went to Siachen. We served in Siachen for.
So you went to Siachen which year, which month, and how much?
That was 85, 86, and 87. Yeah. Yeah.
So that time Siachen में तो मतलब
84
it was a battlefield. Yeah. It was a battlefield. आज वाली बात नहीं है कि that time तो अच्छा, so you are one of the pioneers because 84 में तो operation
our battalion was assaulted a number of times. They did extremely well over there. And there in all my Josh and all that, I contracted HAPO. So I was evacuated to the Leh, military hospital. But within a month, not even a month, I think 3 weeks, the doctor told me you are fit, So, and I'm downgrading you for 1 year. I said, are you out of your mind? There is no way I can go back. I'll kill myself. You have to send me back. So he, with a lot of difficulty, he gave me shape 1. And I walked all the way back to, Siachen. And the CO was shocked. He said, are you mad? Come back within 3 weeks.
This must be recorded as one of the rare cases of an officer getting HAPO while on glacier, coming, getting fit and going back.
Yeah. I said there is no way you can keep me out of action. So he was a very fine, Colonel Aluwalia, BK Aluwalia. He said, no, bache, you go down. So he made me the Adam, commander, base commander down in the Siachen base. He said, no, you stay there. So after about 6 months, I told him, sir, this is not challenging. So he sent me to Khardungla Pass. He said, you go and, clear the road. So till the battalion came, I was looking after the north and south Khardungla, keeping the road.
North Pulu and South Pulu.
North Pulu and South Pulu.
तुम भूल गए हो, मैं अभी तो I was GOC there ना, तो मुझे तो
okay, yeah.
North Pulu and South Pulu and बीच में खरदुंगला and भाई रोड खुला है नहीं है, बर्फ कितनी पड़ी है, that dead at Khardungla is the highest motorable road in the world, one of the most exciting places. जरूर जाना बच्चों को, मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ. तो ठीक है, फिर ये तो हॉकी तो रहेगी तुम्हारी यार, तुम तो
no, that is what, so General Saklani was GOC 3-day. So he came visiting our battalion and said, good job done or whatever. So the CO said, he's a youngster and hockey bahut acha khelta hai. He said, then what is he doing here? So he said, tomorrow, bache, you will take whatever team you want, you take, go to Srinagar and represent our division. So 3 days overnight, I went to Srinagar and we won the tournament there, inter-div, So then they sent to the corps and then the command everywhere. They said, chalte raho, you are very good. You take your team, whatever. And so just the Bihar regiment, we made a team and we went, and the same team, Northern Command team I led in 1986. We won the inter-services championship and they were shocked. Northern Command never fields a team.
Exactly. यार संजय, ये कमाल है. जब हम बाद में मिले, ये बात नहीं, सेम पीरियड में आपको हैरानी होगी. मैं भी क्योंकि पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी का ग्रेजुएट हूँ फिरोजपुर से, मैंने हैंडबॉल पकड़ी वहां पे, क्योंकि बास्केटबॉल प्लेयर था एंड आई प्लेड फॉर यूनिवर्सिटी हैंडबॉल. फिर फौज में आ गए. मैं 85 में हैंडबॉल स्टार्टेड इन द आर्मी एंड 85, 86, 87 3 years फर्स्ट गार्ड टीम वो थे. I used to represent go for services handball and got a silver medal. Got a silver medal in 1987 in Navy ने organize किया था उधर Vizag में. So I have a services silver medal in handball. और तब ये एक बार जियाउल हक had tried to bring thaw in our relations. तो उन्होंने कहा था बास्केटबॉल और हैंडबॉल दो इंडियन आर्मी और पाकिस्तान आर्मी मस्ट प्ले. ये प्रपोजल हुआ था. तो अगर वो carry forward hota na, I would have been the one who would have led the Indian Army handball team.
Okay.
Kamal hai yaar.
Great. Very nice. Excellent.
So this is acha. So फिर आप चलो we are तो फिर you played services hockey and all.
Yeah, then but by then like I told you, when I saw the way the team was and the physical fitness, I had come from Siachen, so I hung up my stick for the second time. I said no. Now let me concentrate on soldiering. So I went back to Siachen and I said no, hockey is done for me. Yeah, that was the end of hockey.
तो ये बताओ, when did you volunteer for para SF? And वो procedure, because ये सब बच्चे wait कर रहे हैं अभी. There are more than 350 on YouTube live. They would like to hear your story of opting for 9 para SF. कितने direct entry officer actually opt करते हैं, and probation कैसा था और बलिदान badge कैसे मिला? Just take us through that story of yours.
Okay, thank you. So so I came back. The battalion came back to Ranchi from Siachen. And I told you the CEO, Colonel Aluwalia, excellent. He said, Sanjay, I know you are an achiever. You want to do. I'm making you the adjutant. And I had already by then decided that I have to go. Routine, army life doesn't suit me. A chap like and everywhere, wherever there was a challenge, I was doing it. So he knew. So he said to adjutant banja. So within 1 month, I realized adjutant ka kya kaam hota hai ye wo. I told him, sir, theek hai sir, all that and all. So he knew something is up, and he went on leave. So and nobody was signing my, I wanted to join at that time 9 para was a commando unit, 9 para commando. So I asked everybody, Bharat Singh, there is no way, bache, you will retire from here only. Isme koi shak hi mat rakhna.
They never used to encourage, yeah.
Yeah,
ये
yeah, no
ये
way.
चीज यूनिट में बेइज्जती मानते थे। अच्छा तुम्हारी यूनिट
Exactly.
छोड़ के वहां जाना चाहता है?
No way.
नो वे।
So it just so happened one day the 3IC, Colonel Rajinder Singh, he was the 3IC and he used to like me a lot. He was our instructor in, in attack wing in Belgaum during YOS.
ओके।
So I walked up to him and said, sir, I believe your posting has come to 3 Bihar. So he said, yes, damn it, what is this? I wanted to command the unit. So I said, here is my opportunity. So I got after him and quietly told him, sir, ये form sign कर दो, ये क्या है? He said, I told him, आप देखो ही मत, आप तो 3 बिहार जा रहे हो. How does it matter?
हाउ डज इट
तो
मैटर?
उसने जो है बोला, दे मुझे. I signed it and next day I sent it off. And next day he asked me, he was officiating CEO, यार I on second thoughts, I don't think you should be going. I said, वो चला गया सर, MS branch में पहुंच गया. Within 2 weeks, because
ये कौन से साल की बात है? 87
this is
88?
87. This is 87.
With
So
2
I
years
had put in
service.
about
With
2 years of
2 years
service.
service. We were all
Yeah, yeah.
lieutenants, 2 stars. है
Yes,
ना?
yes, yes, yes.
अच्छा फिर?
So my call came and they said, are you mad? The 9 para commando is in the thick of things in Sri Lanka. तू पागल है, अभी सियाचिन में है, थोड़ा आराम कर, तू बॉडी शॉडी बना. So I said, sir, there is no way. And my call came and by then my CO came back from leave. So he was wild. Who the hell has signed his this thing? And then, and he was so angry. At that time, they had just named it as SF. So in the, Sainik Sammelan, he said, I don't know, my adjutant is totally mad. He's going to some, Amritsar security force.
मतलब एसएफ नाम नहीं था
हाँ.
पहले तो कमांडो यूनिट मतलब कमांडो नाम भी इतना पॉपुलर नहीं था तो बाद में पॉपुलर हुआ धीरे धीरे है ना
Yeah.
अच्छा
So I from there went right up and came to Chennai and from there took a shift and landed up in Jaffna.
so you joined 9 para SF on probation in Jaffna
In Jaffna, yes.
ये तो
In Jaffna, in the thick of things. In the thick of things.
अच्छा फिर कैसे रहा आपका मतलब
So we had a CEO, General Tej Pathak, totally mad chap, totally mad.
I saw him later somewhere else. Chalo.
But I love him. We are good friends even today, and a lot of respect for him for what he has done and all. But as a youngster, I'm just saying, how youngsters deal with persons who are like dictators. So he said, do this, that, this, and all that. So anyway, I did whatever he said I did. And and my complete probation was baptism by fire. So we were just carrying out operations, and he said,
you joined and you were straight into operation. जो classic probation होता है आजकल की स्टेशन में या वो जो होता है वो नहीं अभी.
Nothing. At that time in operational area, you are just given a troop and you are given and you pass or fail, it is in operations. So he said, you are a commando, instructor, grading you have got. So I know you are fit and you have, various sports and everything. I think you don't need any training. So he gave me mission after mission after mission, independent missions, and all int gathering missions or surveillance missions and things like that.
ये ना मैं बताना चाहता हूँ, लोग सोचते हैं SF means fire और मतलब ये perception है बच्चों का. But main role of special forces, which Brigadier Sanjay Thakur is mentioning, is surveillance, is intelligence gathering, is to which nobody else can do. These special forces can do.
Very right. Yes, you have got it. You said it very well. It is not assault. It is not physical operations. It is all a mind game. And so monitoring of, all the transmissions which were going on there, finding out the routes which they were taking, which is their admin route, which is their tactical route, and carrying out surveillance on places where movement is taking place, and things like that. And we used to only walk and walk and walk and walk. The length and breadth of Sri Lanka I have walked from Jaffna to Wavunia to Mulai.
Jaffna is on the west coast, Wavunia is on the east coast. और मैं श्रीलंका गया उसके बाद तो मुझे उसका मतलब ये त्रिकोमली कहाँ है, ये हरमन टोटा कहाँ है और ये that is quite clear. So अब ये you have crisscrossed the country like this what we
yes,
say,
yes.
Jaffna to Vavuniya, है ना?
Vavunia,
वावुनिया
Vavunia,
वावुनिया में
and then
बड़े
down.
बहुत
Huh.
फाइट हुई यार एलटीटी के साथ, वावुनिया वाज,
Yeah,
है ना?
yeah. Basically, as a youngster, you don't understand politics. So, so I am not going to comment about the politics of it, because
क्या
that
ये
is
हमारा
something.
रोल नहीं है वो, हम तो
हाँ,
सैनिक हैं, देश की वर्दी
yeah,
पहनी है, जो हुक्म मिलेगा करेंगे, हम तो अपनी
हाँ,
यूनिट के लिए कर रहे हैं, फाइनली वी आर
exactly.
डूइंग इट फॉर आवर यूनिट, है ना?
Exactly. So
हाँ,
from there, right through Elephant Pass, going to Vavunia, then down, to Trincomalee, then to Batticaloa, and back up, and every village you have walked. And I, in the sense, the whole 9 para special forces, with General Tej Patak, who was the CEO at that time, every village, wherever we were, and by the battalion was so good, and their battlefield discipline, their battle craft was so good. There
they are
was
the best
no way.
soldiers.
Exactly.
संजय, मैं बता दूं, मैंने 2 पैरा एसएफ के साथ वैली में काफी काम किया, and of course 10 para also I've seen them closely, and your unit of course one of the best units, 9 para SF, but soldiers are beyond, they're too good, है
Yes.
ना?
And
Any experiences you have अपने soldiers के साथ, मतलब something which you we didn't know all this as an infantry officer, but SF में जाके जो लगा आपको?
yeah, yes, you will have to hold a special session for me. You see, in thousands of combat situations I have been, where bullets are flying every day. And every day of my 21 years, I have been in battle. Every place I have been, every state I have been. So those days where we were in the thick of thing, I developed this, habit of watching the militants very closely, very closely. And so within not even 45 days, my commanding officer, General Tej Patak, knew. He called me and told me, Sanjay, you are going to be a legendary soldier.
Wow.
I said, sir, I think you are a mad chap, and you are, trying and telling me. So he laughed. He said, yeah, you don't know what is happening. So, you are emotional, and, I have to be very strict, and my orders have to be followed. Otherwise, we will lose lives. But I am telling you today, you are legendary. You will bring great laurels to the battalion. And I did not know all of this. He told me in just about.
वो तब he saw you through in that 45 days कि यार ये लड़का जो है 10, और ये ना मैं बता दूं कि पहले जो 1-2 साल बड़े क्रूशियल होते हैं यूनिट में, एंड एसएफ में तो ऑफ कोर्स यूर इन ऑपरेशंस, मैंने भी अपनी यूनिट में देखा, पहले 6 महीने में भी सीओ ट्वाइस somebody will see कि हाँ यार ये लड़का ऑफिसर, ये सीओ बनेगा,
Yeah.
You had, because to reach that level ना, एक तो है ऑपरेशनल, ठीक है, फिटनेस है, ये है, but intellect, finally you need to.
Very right. Yes, what actually he saw was we had infiltrated right through, areas where the Indian Army had not gone. And we had a number of places where civilian casualties we could have inflicted. But I did not allow a single person to open fire, even though the other side was firing at us. Because in the thick of it, I told them that these are 12-bore guns. So they said, are you mad? They are all militants. I said, no way. And Yash, one thing I have not shared with anybody, I am very good in tracking and surveillance. And I have always taken one person, only one, 2 of us. Anybody I used to carry with me
as a buddy,
just to bring me back in case something happens. And we used to go. I crawled up everywhere, most of the places, and we saw he was a civilian. He was just firing his 12-bore and thinking there are some wild elephants or something that side. So we skirted it and went. That was one operation where the commanding officer told me, if in your place somebody was there, that all those houses would have got burnt, because you would have fired on that shot, and then we would have said, okay, fire came on you, so in self-defense you have fired. So there he said, you have the aptitude for operations. And of course, after that, we walked right through everywhere. I would also, Yash, like to just mention that, the Tamilians in Sri Lanka, the pathetic lot. Pathetic. There was no way, we would have touched a civilian in Sri Lanka. No way. No way. They had no money. Their huts were in a terrible condition. There were no roads. They were being treated as, second-rate citizens, and our hearts went out to them. And the best part, whenever I used to go out on these int gathering missions, I used to meet the civilians, Tamilian civilians over there, and they used to welcome us with
तुम्हारी
open arms.
तुम्हारा being from Tamil Nadu, तुम्हें तो language
I,
that must have
I
been a
big, exactly. It was a game changer for the whole battalion. And we had two others, we had who later on became the CEO, John D. Brito, and K.A. Mohan. There were two others like him, and there was one more, Anil Nair. Four of us, we could speak the language. And so we gathered intelligence right across. There was never any, wastage of time and resources, because we used to go wherever it was required. But the point I'm trying to make, Yash, is the civilians of Tamil. That is how I think our government sent, basically to protect them.
Yeah, exactly.
To protect them, so we were, and they used to openly ask us, yes, you tell us what you want, and all. We said we don't want anything. We have come for your protection. So it was a pathetic, state, and of course operations as we go along.
कितने दिन रहे आप श्रीलंका में संजय? How much time?
A little over 2 years I spent.
When did you get the maroon beret? Because उसके लिए jump जरूरी है. वहाँ तो कोई jump की जगह ही नहीं थी. ये कब कैसे हुआ? और बलिदान सब पूछना चाहते हैं बच्चे, बार-बार कह रहे हैं बलिदान बैच 9 पैरा ऐसे.
Yeah. So day in and out. I was a unmarried person, and day in and out, and we were in operations. So one day, and within 6 months, General Tej Pathak, TS Pathak, he went, and he was relieved by General Leader, HS Leader, another great gentleman.
We served in Mozambique with him.
Okay. HS Leader, he subsequently, rose up, very high. So he was a CISC also, and I am in touch with him, and he was my mentor. He took me up, and he said, Sanjay, I am there for you. And so he was our CEO. So anyway, so after 1 year of my continuous operations over there,
jungle bashing.
right through. And we used to live in tents. There was no water.
Have you gone to Sri Lanka after that? Sanjay, have you visited Sri Lanka?
No, I went once. I went to Colombo. Yeah, I did.
You must do now. You must go again and now make a vlog. Just go over some of those places, before
very right. I would love to. The Tamil civilians over there are really good. And they are pathetic lot. We need to help them. So anyway, after 1 year.
After 1 year.
After 1 year, then General Leader, then our CEO, he said, you go for para jumps. And that is how after 1 year in 89, January 89, for 30 days, I came to Agra, where we did our, jumps, and I fell in love with, and it's an exhilarating feeling of jumping out from an aircraft.
पहली बार जब तुमने jump किया, कौन से aircraft से कहाँ, what is the feeling of, what height?
AN-32 was what, is generally used, so AN-32 was an aircraft, and you do about 15 days of ground training. So 15 days of ground training you undergo, and you have a para training school run by the Air Force very professionally. They run this para training school in Agra, and there, all the AN-32, the complete lot is there, and their pilots and all, very motivated lot. And so 15 days of ground training, and there you are, third week you are standing, and all officers jump out first. Whoever is the senior most jumps out first.
ये भी मैं बता दूं, the first guy to jump is the senior most guy. If CEO is there, he's the first to jump. If there's a general, he'll be the first to jump.
First person to jump. So I was standing, with my reserve parachute, and that guy saying, red horn and yellow horn and green horn and go. So I was looking down, I think it was about 1,000 feet. And I said, what the hell am I doing here?
Sanjay Thakur wanting to play Olympics hockey is now in an aircraft. अभी सवाल आ रहा है मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ?
I was really laughing. I said, bloody hell, yeah. A guy, and and all dreams and all have gone, and you in the thick of soldiering, and then you are in a aircraft and whatever. And so I jumped out. So that people told me, your first jump, you don't know anything. And that's what happened. First jump, you just jump out, you don't even know. And they told me, if you stand there for a second more, you'll get a kick up your ass.
Do you jump or you get pushed out?
No, you jump before you get kicked. They said, if you hesitate, you'll get a kick. I said, I am a true Rajput, a Chauhan Rajput. There is no way anybody is going to touch me. And I jumped. And that is how, and it's an exhilarating feeling, and it's very safe. Even girls, ladies, all jump out. It's absolutely, safe to jump out.
कितने जंप किया आपने?
Actually, I was not a keen paratrooper. I was not a keen
You're
paratrooper.
more of a ground.
Yeah. So whatever were the mandatory, you were supposed to jump out 2 or 3 times, including one night jump. That was the mandatory jumps. Is what I do not want an injury. I would rather die on the battlefield than get a battle accident and things like that. So I was very clear that I do not want to get an accident doing funny things.
So you get a maroon beret only after your jumps.
After your jumps, yes. So you come back, and so your question, the Balidan is given for 1 year in a special forces unit. So it's a coveted badge, yes. So you get your maroon beret after your jumps, and your Balidan after you have put in 1 year.
Who puts on the badge, or you just put it on one day?
Yeah, the commanding officer. The commanding officer. He is because he is the one who's taken the decision. It's a very small team. The rejection rate is nearly 90%. So it's a very small team. And he's looking not at Tarzans. He's looking at, mentally tough people.
Mentally tough. That's what I say. It is, we are not looking at weightlifters and boxers. We are looking at mentally tough, moral courage, people with great moral courage.
Yes.
And mental endurance.
Yes. So he, and he said, now, bache, I'm giving you this, a Kangol used to be, the sought after, maroon beret. He presented it to me. And then he said, now you don't wear this. When we go back to our permanent station, now we are back in Changas, you get on with it now. And so that 1 month I was for paratrooping and then back on to operations. Yeah.
So, ये बहुत interesting है. अभी बताओ, you went on to command 9 para. You went on a UN mission. अभी before we go, you mentioned few names, but just मुझे बताओ mentorship का क्या role है जिंदगी में? सही टाइम पे सही कोई गाइड कर दे आपको, बता दे आपको, तो क्या?
Yeah, mentorship is not forced upon you. What I want all our youth and children to understand, mentorship should be something which you take a liking to. He or she should be in a place where they have achieved almost everything, and this was 1-to-1. As soon as I saw General Leader, I said he is the person. Because in Ranchi, where when we had gone briefly, I had spent just a very short time. I went, I read a book, Autobiography of a Yogi. I request all children.
One of my favorite books, Autobiography of a Yogi. It's there in my library. Yeah.
So I read that, and then I went and joined their sanstha, where they teach you, meditation. And their lessons are extremely good. And so when I started my meditation and breathing techniques, this I joined in 87, and till date I am their member. So you learn a lot. So he was practicing meditation, General Leader at that time, my CEO. So he was, in various operations, when we said there is no way we are going to get killed tonight. And mostly, we operate in very small numbers. Basically, it is in gathering missions. So many times we thought today is the day we are going to get killed. And we used to just wait and meditate. And the whole night used to pass where everyone is firing at everybody. None of us are opening fire. And then quietly we exfiltrate the next day. And that is
somebody is asking on YouTube live, how did 9 para SF change your mindset? So ये योगी संजय ठाकुर बोल रहे हैं या now Brigadier Sanjay Thakur, how did para SF change your mindset? यार आप देखो, मतलब आपके क्या change हुआ आपके mindset?
Yeah, one thing I realized, which I mentioned, Yash, that which this adage which Indian Army asked, do you have it in you? Do you have it in you? So I realized I have it in me, and so I was breathing normal. When you are breathing normal is what I want all children and youth to understand. That means you are on the right lines. Yes, if you are breathing hard, that means there is something missing. So in all operations and what the meditative exercises I learned from Ranchi, so breathing and your meditation taught me that you are on the right lines. So fear, I could smell death. I could smell fear. If anybody in my, very small strength we used to carry, anybody has fear, I will smell it out. So these are some things which I learned.
How do you smell death?
It has a very peculiar smell, very peculiar, and there is no way I have failed. No way I have failed. Death,
I want to know whether you can smell, you can guess it's going to happen, or you can ask pass if there is a dead body.
no,
Like
no,
you
no,
can.
no, no. Before death takes place, before death takes place, before death takes place, you get a smell. And this is something which I have learned. And then we were extremely cautious, because then if you do not take precautions, it is somebody in your troop who's going to die.
I know Sri
And
Lanka was
so
very bad. कितने
very
soldiers
bad.
हमने lose किए होंगे वहाँ? Any idea?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Thousand plus.
Yes, yes. No, I don't want to say the figure. It is tremendous, tremendous. And by mines, and you can see foot, going back so
तो
many
कभी-कभी
times.
संजय आपको दुख होता है कि आजकल बात नहीं करते हम ऑप पवन की, क्योंकि हम लोग यंग ऑफिसर्स थे, हमारे
Yeah,
दिल की
yeah.
धड़कनें, हमारे यार दोस्त थे, हमारी यूनिटें थी,
Yeah.
और हम लोग, मैं बता रहा हूँ, मैं पुंछ में थे, हम लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पे, और कश्मीर की जो इंसर्जेंसी स्टार्ट होने वाली थी, और हम लोग सब वॉलंटियर थे कि यार वी वुड लाइक टू गो टू श्रीलंका एट दिस टाइम, बट ऑफ कोर्स इट वाज यूनिट्स गोइंग एंड ऐसा कोई प्रोविजन था नहीं. सो हाउ डू यू, मतलब इसके बारे में बोलना चाहिए, बात
So
करना चाहिए?
what you are saying is absolutely right. Yash, and I was in int gathering missions. The missions the SF unit gets are all int gathering. Go and find out their camps, go and find out their morale, go and find out where they're collecting their tax, go and find out. So one of the tasks given to me was, there were talks going on. The militants were having talks with Sri Lankans. So Sri Lankan government, imagine both of them were sworn enemies. But when we went, they got close together and they started plotting against us. So that is what we sniffed out. And then we were told, you get us evidence. So we hunted around and got evidence. We got video cassettes and we sent it up.
आजकल तो इतने कैमरास, इतनी सैटेलाइट, ड्रोन, पता नहीं क्या क्या, तब तो कुछ नहीं था,
कुछ भी नहीं,
है ना, वो टेक्नोलॉजी तब तो, है ना, टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं सुना था हमने क्या.
Exactly. So we got those cassettes and sent it up to Delhi. And then they must have taken a decision that if those two have got together, then what are we doing over there? So what you're saying is right. But one thing I would like to add, the amount of experience we have gained over there is the reason why all our battalions did extremely well. Imagine, I remember when we were flown out from there in 1990 to JNK. JNK at that time sponsored terrorism had started.
It was burning.
Exactly. In hundreds, they were pouring into the porous border. We would not have defended JNK if we had not, got all this experience in Op Pavan. There was no way. Where boots are flying, where IDs are there, you are assaulting across minefields. That's one of the toughest operations, where 3 or 4 times, we have assaulted across minefields, and your foot is going to blow, but there is no way. There is no way.
This was Sanjay, Kashmir ka. I will like to get this in context. This was when you were now a reasonably senior company commander.
When no, that is another thing, Yash, I would like to share. There are no acting ranks in a SF unit. So for 11 years, I was a captain.
I didn't know this. हम तो बन गए थे बरसाती में थे बहुत जल्दी. अच्छा, SF doesn't have acting ranks.
No acting ranks.
Oh, this is sad, yeah.
Yeah, so 11 years I was a captain, and just like a 2 years service captain, I was 11 years captain. All through.
भी तो बड़े कम होते हैं SF में, इतने तो होते नहीं.
Exactly, हाँ, कम
You are
होते हैं.
mostly leading squads and.
Yeah. So 11 years I worked very hard. You name a thing.
So when did you command the unit? How was that? 9 para.
Yeah. So again, it is destiny. Yes, there were 7-8 officers over me, and each one, let me tell you, each one was better than me. Each one. You name an officer who was on top of me. They were all, just too good. I was just standing in the line कि यार मुझे कहीं भी भेज दो आप, मुझे AR में भेज दो, NCC भेज दो, बिहार भेज दो, वापस कहीं भी भेज दो. It is okay with me. And to my utter surprise, one fine day, I was BM, one of the independent brigade, and they told me, you just come, you are, we want you. And overnight, I went to as the 2IC, second in command of 9 para SF. So I had not expected to be called, and I was called. And then I did not expect to take over the unit. 2.5 years I was the second in command. In every operation again I was participating.
किस साल आप सीओ बने? We must have become
So
together. You are, हम
2001
तो
and
MEC में बन गए तो
2003, 2003,
we
2003.
were little late because we got into MEC profile, तो हमारा थोड़ा सा
That's all.
promotions
Yeah.
delay हो गए. But we all
Yeah.
got approved together in the same board. 2002 में मैं RR में था कंपनी कमांडर जब हमारा
Yeah,
रिजल्ट आया
that's
था.
what RR is such a difficult tenure you had, Yash. What such a difficult tenure. It's very difficult. We have our own troops and you have a composite.
Yeah, we have a mix. But चलो, that is what life is all about, you know, Sanjay. We have had. So how was your command of 9 para SF? To be CO of a SF unit.
Yeah.
Ultimately लगता है जिंदगी में जो चाहिए था मिल गया, CO बन गया para SF के.
Very nice question you have asked me. You know, everybody in the battalion knew that Sanjay Thakur knows operations backwards. So any operation, whether it is hostage rescue or building intervention or across or inside or, you know, guerrilla warfare or covert operations or clandestine operations, I knew it backwards. But you just see how your soul is challenged. So firstly, you know, as soon as I became a CO, you recollect Op Vijay was there and then Op Parakram was there. So our battalion was right through deployed in all. So for 5 years consecutively, none of our officers were posted outside. So when I took over, that was a brief, you know, time. So all the officers, and I did not, you know, ask anybody to stay back. I said, no, you have 5 years is a lot of time to stay consecutively in a battalion. All of you go. So I was left with only one young RMO.
Oh.
Only one officer. When I took over, I had only the regimental, you know, medical officer. And I told him, you will be the adjutant and I will be the CO. He said, how are you going to command? I said, you don't bother. This will be one of the best battalions without officers. And so I had a, you know, a darbar. And I asked all the, you know, the whole battalion that, look, by the time the probationers come and we hold, and it will be 1 year when they would have gained some experience. So do you want to, you know, go to, you know, Nahan or Agra or, you know, Rajasthan? You tell me where you want to go. Or you give me an option. So they were perplexed. They said, sir, what are you saying? JNK, we have to stay here. I said, we have no officers. So they looked at me. So they knew I had something up my mind. So I said, for officers, read NCOs. NCOs is Nayaks and Havaldars and Naib Subadars. So can you imagine 9 para SF? My complete tenure, I had Lance Nayaks, Havaldars and Naib Subadars who led in operations. And we were as successful, if not more. We went into all theaters and I had no problem. And, you know, probation officers were coming, but we were not able to, you know, there was nobody. And it was not the fault of anybody. I do not blame anybody for this. The country went through
Didn't they post officers from 2 para or 1 para and all, just to make up the strength?
Yeah, no, but all the other battalions were also in JNK. So everybody was having a problem. So it was, but we did not look back. Our NCOs and JCOs delivered. Whole groups we were eliminating. So nobody even knew that we were short of officers. And we tried our best. We got some, you know, people from here and there and somehow managed. Gradually, 8, 9, 10 months, we started getting one odd officer. Our old officers started coming back. So, but the initial 10 months was very difficult.
And kitna tha lamba aapka command tenure?
I was about a little over 2 years. Yes, I was there.
And I must tell the audience and my friends, Bacha Party jo dekh rahe hain, he got a Youth Seva Medal for command of a unit. उन दिनों में बहुत रेयरली किसी सीओ को इस टाइप का अवार्ड दिया जाता था. दैट शोज एक्चुअली यू नो एंड आई नो संजय ठाकुर, यू वोंट बी वन हु विल बी हैंकरिंग फॉर एनी अवार्ड. आ गया तो आ गया, है ना?
Yeah, thank you, Yash. I also, you know, when I took over command, I asked the men. I was very close to the men. Even today, my whole mobile is full of men's numbers. So I asked the men, what do you expect from me, your commanding officer? You know, because my father was a soldier, you know, he was an air warrior. and 18 years he became a commissioned officer later. But initial 18 years I saw him as a soldier. So I was, and the men realized that his heart is with us. He is not going to do something foolish. He will consult us before doing anything. So they knew. So I asked them, what do you want? So they said, sir, we do not want you to run the race for the Chief of Army Staff unit citation.
Right. No numbers
given. So no numbers given. So I said, done. Today we will change. We will not run after the militant cadre. We will only carry out int gaining operations, and we will establish an int network across and inside, and we will only hit the leadership. We will not carry out futile operations. And I do not want the unit citation. And you will be shocked, Yash. At the end of my tenure, the chief, he came to us and he said, I am very happy with your battalion. He held a Sainik Sammelan and he addressed the battalion and he said, I am from Jammu, that is General NC Vij. He said, I am from Jammu. I have seen this battalion over the years, one of the best battalion. And so I have come to say my thanks on behalf of the whole Indian Army. Okay. And he said, you tell me what you want. So I said, sir, you don't ask me, you ask them. So he asked them, what do you want? So they said, sir, all officers go abroad. We have not gone abroad. We are always in the jungles and mountains. So he said, okay, Sanjay, you give them tea and you come take me to your office. So General Hari Prasad, the army commander, was also there. And we went to the CO's office. There, all the bravest of brave awards and unit citations over the years. So he sat down and he's drafted a signal to MO Directorate. He said, any unit which has 3 unit citations or a bravest of brave, and we had both. So you send them abroad immediately. Oh. So General Hari Prasad said, I can't spare my SF unit. So he said, now you decide between the CO what you want. So then they decided to send us in a company strength. But still, he gave us.
So you went to the unit to UN also?
No. That he said, Sanjay, you will have. I said, sir, don't worry. So the CO and Subdar Major, barring 2 of us.
I know, company law. ये MEC के साथ भी होता है. They go in company law, CO Subdar Major नहीं जाते.
Yeah, so Congo and Eritrea. And I feel sorry for, my successor also, because it went over about 3 years. Yeah, so RS Gill, who took over from me, he also took the brunt, where we were performing the same op role with half the battalion. Yeah,
1/3 उधर है, फिर कुछ आ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं. I understand, this thing. तो उसके बाद ये बताओ संजय कि कमांड के बाद where do you command the brigade? आप brigade commander कहाँ बने?
Yeah, age is a major factor. Everyone says, what is your age? Are you going to be the chief? Are you going to be army commander? So
हमारे साथ direct entries के साथ ये issue होता है. Age is a very big, it comes to play.
Yeah, so it was just one of, and the rule for commanding the para brigade was that you should have commanded a para or a SF unit. So, and none of my postmates, nobody had, other than me, I तो मतलब lieutenant general बन जाएगा, but कोई काम का नहीं होगा. So they said, let's make a para RT officer, a para brigade commander. So our postmate, Sanjay Singh, took over. So though the MS called me and said, if you object, I will give you para brigade. I said, no way, sir. No way. I am not going to object. I have never objected. This is destiny. It is his destiny to command para brigade. So he was very touched. He said, otherwise, I have already made my noting. I was taking it. I just wanted your, concurrence. I said, no, he was General Nair. He was the MS at that time. Yeah, so he said, Sanjay, okay, fine. Don't worry. I will give you one of the best brigades. So he had gone on LTC to Andaman Nicobar.
Oh.
So he said,
the Andaman Nicobar Brigade.
Yeah.
That is a prized brigade to command.
So he came back. He said, I saw a paratrooper, photograph there. It's a strategic brigade. And they are guarding, 575 islands and the 10-degree channel. You are aware, complete, oil of China goes from that 10-degree channel. And that's it's like a submarine, huge submarine, unsinkable submarine, which will, come to our use whenever required. So that's the brigade I commanded here.
That's great. और उसके बाद you were in Army War College. जहाँ हम मिलते थे कई बार जब I used to come down to war.
I used to come for I used to come regularly to give a
lecture के लिए.
Great.
संजय बहुत जबरदस्त बातें हुई हैं. मुझे ना अभी ये बताओ अभी नाउ आई वांट टू पिक योर माइंड, व्हाट विल बी योर एडवाइस? ये इतने सारे बच्चे हैं, 450 करीब बच्चे तो यूट्यूब पे लाइव हैं, और इसको कल तक जो है 10 15 20 हजार बच्चे देखेंगे इस हमारे इंटरव्यू को। आपकी क्या एडवाइस है? ये डेस्परेट हैं, बच्चे को एनडीए ज्वाइन करना था, कोई सीडीएस को एफ कैट, गर्ल्स बहुत हैं। व्हाट इज द एडवाइस कि यार यंग बच्चों को हाउ शुड, उनका क्या, कैसे तैयारी करना चाहिए उनको आर्मी में, आर्म फोर्सेस में ऑफिसर बनने के लिए, बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स बोथ?
Before I answer your question, I just wanted to say about girls. You know, in one of the operations in JNK, there was an armed lady militant. So we had, captured some other militants also, and in that one of the armed, we were after one of the, int chiefs over there, and I let that girl go. I took her weapon and I said, "You just run away from here." So the army commander said, "Yeah, why did you leave that girl?" I said, "Sir, tomorrow in the papers it will come that we have done this, we have done that." And I said, I did not want to take that chance. Somebody, and you are aware, operations is such a place where even if you have not done anything, they will say you have done so many things.
False
Allegations would have come on you, and there everything was fair. So anything they could have done. So they sent me 4 lady officers. So they said, okay, you are carrying out operations where even lady militants are there. So they sent me 4 lady officers on probation. I would like to state on record to every person who's listening, there was no way any of them was lesser than any of our gentlemen officers.
Really?
No way.
And they were all from logistics, but they were all
from logistics, but you are aware the vacancies for lady officers is so less. So they are the best.
Think they are fit to be in SA?
They are fit. I use them in operations. For int gathering operations. They never took a step backward. They delivered day in and day out. They delivered. And in my written report, I mentioned that, sir, please, these are ladies who are the best. They are the cream of our country.
This is so heartening to hear from Sanjay, from you.
Yeah. So there is no way. They are very daring, and they are as full of josh and motivation as any young officer. So my humble prayers to everybody, please increase their vacancies for ladies, girls. Let them join the not only Indian Army but the Air Force and Navy and all central government jobs. And of course, my advice to between dreams and destiny, you have to ask yourself, do you have it in you? It is not an easy thing. Day in and day out, 4:30, you have to get up. You have to sleep at 10, 10:30, 11 in the night. And day in and day out, for 35, 40 years, you have to do this. Do you have it in you? Do you have the discipline in you? Do you have the, you have to be obedient. You cannot, of course, like I mentioned, used to argue. You argue with your seniors. But once they have made up their decision, you step back and take it as it is your own decision.
Exactly. Then you make it your own. Once
you
the
make it your own
part is over,
that's
orders have come. Now it is.
Now it is. So if you have it in you, there is no service. Yash, I would like to mention, even though it is now more than, this is my 4th year after retirement, wherever I have gone, the public has with open arms welcomed us. Veterans, open arms everywhere. I walk into a police station, I walk into a government official, he just has to hear you are an ex-serviceman. That's it. You don't have to tell him your rank and name and whatever. You are an ex-serviceman. He stands up, he welcomes you, he offers you a cup of tea wherever you are, in whichever state. That is the amount of respect ex-servicemen and serving people they command. So if what better service than the armed forces? It's a sacrificing life, of course. I would like to mention, my wife.
वो ठीक है, वो आपका ना, I agree with you. That is the emotional part and the mental part. But how should they prepare? मतलब किस टाइप का एटीट्यूड होना चाहिए, किस टाइप की इनको अपने कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, अपनी फिजिकल फिटनेस, करंट अफेयर्स, किस टाइप की प्रिपरेशन करनी चाहिए? व्हाट डू यू रिकमेंड?
Very good question you are asking, Yash. बहुत ही अच्छा. You cannot take it easy. You have to invest 1 hour minimum every day on your physical fitness and on your mental robustness. All the exercises you have to, there are so many mental exercises which comes in almost every newspaper, in every magazines. You have mental exercises. You have to be alert. You cannot be a gullible chap where everyone says, "Oh, yaar, aise kar lo, aap aise kar lo." No way. You have to be physically and mentally robust. You have to be in touch with the whole world. What is happening, where it is happening, and what are the consequences. You have to start learning to write your deductions. If this action somebody is saying or doing, or some policy has come out, what are its implications? Start questioning. So when you start questioning things, then bring in that curiosity, that inquisitiveness, your mind will start opening. And of course, you have to forget and forgive. Do not have the best relationship with everybody. Your interpersonal skills have to be very good, because there is no way you can say this guy is short, this guy is tall, this guy is fat, this guy, I don't like his look. No way. Every person is part of your command. So you have to accept everybody the way he or she is. And you just look at the center of their eyebrows. That is where you have to look when you look at a person, because then you are addressing the soul. A soul is talking to a soul. There is no way you can, say that he's from Bihar or she's from UP, and I am from Punjab, and there is no way. Caste, creed, sex, souls are unisex. There is no sex. The soul doesn't have a sex. So it doesn't matter who you are. Today you are a man. After 2 births you will be a woman. So it doesn't matter whatever you are. You have the capability in you, and you do not require anybody's help. Of course, like you rightly said, mentorship is required. 1 or 2 people whom you respect, if they are guiding you, then you can accept their advice, how to go about it, how to plan. Everything is you just have to write it down. This is how I am going to go about it. And one very important thing, Yash, very nice question you have asked. If you have thought of it in your mind, that's it. If you have made the decision in your mind, you are manifesting it. Manifestation is something which we will speak.
मैं इसको क्या बोलता हूँ ना संजय, मैंने इसको ब्रेक डाउन कर दिया है. मैं बोलता हूँ जिस दिन तुम्हारे मन में कीड़ा आ गया ना, अब स्कूल में हो, कॉलेज में हो, लड़का या लड़की हो, कि मैंने फौज में ऑफिसर बनना है, उस दिन से तुम्हारा बिहेवियर चेंज होना चाहिए. सबसे पहले यू शुड स्टार्ट बिहेविंग लाइक एन ऑफिसर. सो आई कॉल इट OLB, ऑफिसर लाइक बिहेवियर. तो 50% तो आपका SSB वहीं क्लियर है, बिकॉज देन माइंड कहेगा नहीं यार, ऑफिसर होगा तो ये काम नहीं करेगा. नाउ आई एम एन ऑफिसर, तो मेरा कंडक्ट off parade, on parade, in school, college, with friends, then you'll not take advantage of a weak person. You'll not take advantage of another sex, or you will not do anything which is ungentlemanly or unwomanly. आपने कंडक्ट का तरीका आ जाएगा आपको. तो जो आप बोल रहे हो, मैं उसको इस तरीके से बच्चों को बोलता हूं.
Very correct. You have to, it's in your mind. Once you've decided, that's it. You will get it. And वो रास्ता भी आ जाएगा.
फिर अपने आप फिर मेंटली आप सोच लो, भाई अब मैं पहुंच गया हूं, और मैं जो भी डिसीजन लो जिंदगी में, सोच के लो कि मैं ऑफिसर हूं, मुझे अभी ऐसे करना चाहिए.
एक और चीज यश आई वांट टू ऐड ऑन इज विजुअलाइजेशन. व्हेन यू वांट टू मैनिफेस्ट समथिंग, आप अपने आप को देखो कि यू आर वेयरिंग द यूनिफॉर्म. You are wearing the uniform. You are you are undergoing training in NDA. You visualize you are in IMA. You visualize you are a commissioned officer. You visualize wherever you are. Visualization is very important. If you can see yourself, then rest, everything falls into place. Manifestation takes.
You have to be. Sanjay, a lot of people are asking about some of your officers who are very popular on social media, or their stories they have been awarded under you. Any officer you remember, 9 para SF के, क्योंकि बच्चे नाम नहीं लेना चाहता, बहुत से बच्चों के नाम, ऑफिसर्स के नाम पूछ रहे हैं चैट में on YouTube.
You see, like Manpreet Singh Bains is there. Manpreet Singh Bains, he's a major general today. So an excellent officer, made for special forces. And then we have, we have a large number of officers. I don't know if they, I should take their name. But of course, the other day I heard Vivek Jacob.
So that's what they're asking. They're all asking about Kiss Sir Vivek Jacob.
Excellent. His father was also a great, person, and of 9 para SF, the 9 para commando then. So his father, and then I saw him also in the battalion. So you cannot describe them. You cannot describe
when
them.
You were the CO in the unit?
No, he joined before that. Yeah, he joined.
So मैंने उसका एक इंटरव्यू किया हुआ है, and he's met me physically. He's come home. हम 2 बार मिले, और ये जब
Okay.
जा रहे थे वो वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड रखने के लिए हैंडीकैप को सियाचिन ले जाने के लिए, तो आई
Okay.
वाज
Okay.
इन्वॉल्वड इन सीइंग देम ऑफ इन दिल्ली एंड दे स्टे
Okay.
इन ले, बिकॉज मैं वहां पे
Okay.
था तो मेरा अच्छा सिविल में, क्योंकि कोविड में दे वर नॉट अलाउइंग ओपनिंग अप ऑफ द कैंटोनमेंट, सो
Yeah.
आई वाज एसोसिएटेड इन विद दैट इन द एंटायर टीम.
Okay. Okay.
हाँ.
And then we have, you would have heard Shaitan Singh. We have a youngster, Milan Nalavade is there. They are all legends. They have, we have Ashish Hooda. You have
Ashish
so
Hooda
many.
was with me in Leh. Yeah, Ashish.
Okay.
He
So
was-
yeah, Ashish Hooda, you. So they are all motivated soldiers. R.S. Gill, who took over from me. K.M. Mohan, legendary. John D. Brutto, he's one of our finest. You can see. So and Sudhir Walia,
Yeah, Sudhir Walia also people want to
Walia,
know
the
about him.
bravest of brave, officers, who was chief's, ADC,
Yes,
and
yes,
when
yes.
Kargil took place, and he said, "Sir, I just want to go," and he
Jal
requested
Malik,
General
he was
Malik,
ADC to Jal Malik और वो हर
हाँ,
बार उसके बारे में लिखते हैं.
and he just wrote here, he is also Ashok Chakra awardee, and of course Sudhir Walia also are Ashok Chakra awardee. So you have a battle, so many officers, and they come from all regiments. They come from all regiments and regiments and services anywhere and everywhere. You have it in you. You can come and join. You don't have
मैं
to.
क्या कहता हूँ जब ये मैं इनकी सबकी स्टोरीज देखता हूँ या इनके बारे में बात करता हूँ, मैं कहता हूँ दे आर ऑल ऑर्डिनरी बट दे परफॉर्म एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी टास्क्स व्हेन दे वर इन दैट रोल.
Yes,
हमें
yes,
खुद
yes.
को नहीं पता होता यार, ये यूनिट की स्ट्रेंथ होती है, कुछ ट्रेनिंग होती है, कुछ पैशन होता है, जो हमारे
Yeah.
हम सब ऑर्डिनरी लोग हैं,
Yeah,
ऑर्डिनरी
yeah.
घरों से आए हुए हैं,
Very
बट
right.
कहीं ना कहीं वी वर एबल टू डू ऑल दिस बिकॉज ऑफ दिस great
Yeah.
Indian army.
Gaurav Rishi was one of my most successful, team commanders. He's an approved Major General now. Yeah. And, and Nirmal Singh Dhaliwal, NS Dhaliwal, there are so many names. So I'm sorry if I missed out any, but they are wonderful people, and they are best of the best. You cannot describe them. Each has got, so many skills. And each has got his own speciality.
हाँ, मैं वही कह रहा था. ठीक है, आप एसएफ में मोल्ड करते हो उसको, उसकी ट्रेनिंग कराते हो, उसका देखते हो, प्रोबेशन, मेंटल माइंडसेट है, बट उसके बाद दे आर ऑल इंडिविजुअल्स सेपरेट, बिकॉज इन एसएफ यू हैव टू, एसएफ में आपको तो इंडिविजुअल चाहिए ना जो सोचता है.
And we have 5 skills, each person, has to have 5 skills. So you can decide, each person is generally given 2 skills out of the 5 skills. You have, signals, you have, which is communication skills and demolition skills, I don't want to list out all the skills, but otherwise, so what happens? And then these are 5 basic skills. And then you have 16 super specialist skills. So you have to, you have to get into any of the 2 skills, basic skills you choose. Then you select 2 or 3 of the super specialist skills. I for obvious reasons, I don't want to list them out. So that person, is one of the super specialists of the battalion. So his aptitude, and his way of thinking, and he's an individual, person. And also my advice to the youth of you have to read books. Read books as much as possible. You have to read. There is no way you can get into social media or waste your time on TV. No way. You have to read books. And that nationalism, you have to be a patriot. You have to feel if something is happening anywhere in the country, you have to feel it. How can you do such a thing?
So that हम लोग जिस दौर में गुजरे, सियाचिन हुआ, श्रीलंका हुआ, पंजाब हुआ, J&K, North East, then 84 riots, we lost a prime minister, and then Babri Masjid, then Bombay riot. We passed through when the nation was passing through a very, very bad phase, but we all stuck together on this idea of India and patriotism.
Exactly.
This feeling. That's why I have this flag, Sanjay. I keep this flag with me because it inspires me more than anything else.
One Yash, I forgot to mention, we had an extent, like I mentioned to you earlier, we had decided not to go after the cadre. So we said we will go after the leadership. So we established a INT network, an excellent INT network. Now that INT network in 2004, firsthand, I got this information. That is, we got this information because the whole battalion was operating. That Terrorist Council, meeting where we had
हाँ,
somebody who recorded the whole thing and sent it to us. So he said that we have made a mistake. We are hitting them at Kashmir. Kashmir, there is no way you can't take an inch. So they decided in 2004 that let us spread across the length and breadth of the balance of the country and
yeah,
set
they're
up
doing.
terror cells.
Let's
Set up terror cells.
vulnerable. There also they realize कि int agencies will get after you
Get
and
after
will
you.
pick you up, and that is why we are a safe country, because finally those who are, whether we are SF or without uniform also, people in position are always very very patriotic and true Indians.
Yeah.
संजय, ये बातें ना मैं पूरा दिन कर सकता हूँ तुम्हारे साथ, and I feel privileged to have got you on the show,
Thank
to
you.
bring you on a platform, you know, with me, बहुत बहुत जबरदस्त है. What I will do is I will, let me see if there are अच्छा, एक क्वेश्चन एक बच्चा बार बार पूछ रहा है, can JAG officers join SF for some time? JAG
Yeah, of
branch?
course they can. Of course they can join. Of course. There is no embargo on anybody.
Anyone
No
can
embargo.
join SF?
Anybody. Yes, yes.
Services officers also?
Exactly. We have got so many services officers who joined us. Ordnance,
So
ASC,
SF is
EME,
open to all officers.
anybody.
Go for, अच्छा, thank you. अच्छा, मैं
Yeah.
फिर they're saying, a lot of them want to know कि आपका जो SF का हमारा जो equipment वगैरह है, is it world class actually that we project? Anything that
Yes.
SF requires is given, or
You know, there is what we have done. We had a problem, so what we requested the the government, and through their military to military sales. That is how we expedited, because then you don't have to go through the
yeah, you don't have to go
complete trials
tendering and all that.
yeah,
And you're
yeah,
we our numbers are very small, so you can just
very small.
pick up the best weapon system, or
Exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
There is a boy who wants to know, how can we how can we be mentally robust? How can we control our mind? And in intensity, how can you be a focused person? Because
Yeah.
आप इस पे तो हम पूरा डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, but what do you feel? How can you be mentally
Yeah, very good question he's asking. The one has to start meditating to bring focus, to bring awareness, to bring mindfulness. To bring mindfulness, you have to start meditating. Meditating, the best period is between 4 and 5 a.m. You try meditation any other time, it will be very difficult. 4 to 5 a.m. you get up in the morning and you meditate. How do you start meditation? You start meditation by first concentrating outwardly. Try and listen to the sound all around you. Then gradually you go inwards and you concentrate on your breath. And when you concentrate on your breath, you will suddenly find you are not there. And that is where you realize that meditation, you will find you are on the top of your head where the soul is there. Soul rests on the center of your head. So if you can enter your soul, then that is it. And from there is no end to it. There are so many other exercises which go into it. So meditation will bring you the focus, the awareness, the mindfulness, and all the questions are answered through meditation. You just have to download from the universe. You don't have to ask anybody. You do not have to go and ask anybody, is it right, is it wrong, and things like that. So if you meditate, you get the answers. And of course,
इस पे we will have to have a separate session on meditation. A lot of children are overthinking, and so this is really interesting. So young people should meditate.
Yes, there are two things to add to this. When you start meditation, your way of life changes. Purity of mind, purity of your thoughts, purity of your actions, purity of your words, they come into play. And then that person becomes very strong, very strong. There is no way anybody can, just tell him, just buzz off from here. No way. They will see the sparkle in his eye. And of course, along with this is manifestation. Along with this is destiny. You will realize there are certain things you are not supposed to do. So it doesn't mean you are a failure. It does not mean you are a failure. There are better things for you to do. So you have to, do your bit and much more your bit. And if it does not come your way, so be it. That is your destiny. Then there is another window opening.
I keep saying you're pushing. You may be pushing against the wrong wall. और साइड में खिड़की खुली जहां से जंप करना आपने. But Sanjay, you are a yogi soldier, यार. मैं तो I didn't know this facet of your personality कि तुम तो पहुंचे हुए पैरा SF और मतलब हॉकी प्लेयर, देन पैरा एसएफ, बिहार रेजिमेंट, पैरा एसएफ, पूरा बाबूनियार, श्रीलंका, कश्मीर. Hats off to you, yeah, really.
No, thank you. Yes, advantage of meditation is also before you enter the room, you meditate on that person. You will get his thoughts. You will get his positiveness or negativeness. There is no, why are you wasting on breaking your head against a person who doesn't like your face? So this is what meditation will do. Anybody who accepts you and has positive energy towards you, you will catch it. So if you are getting negative energy from somewhere, stay away. Don't waste your time. And this is not permanent. You may have negative energy today against somebody, tomorrow it will become positive. When it becomes positive, you again approach that person.
Great.
So meditation is very important for all children, and you will get the answers. And start visualization, which is a first step towards manifestation. And you will manifest. See, your destiny is 90%, but 10% God also, the infinite power, gives you. 10% you can change your destiny. For that 10%, you have to go into purity.
Great. Sanjay, it's been an hour and a half of, it is like a movie. This particular episode, I would want you to watch it like a Netflix. Binge watch karna hai. 1.5 ghanta, my conversation with Brigadier Sanjay Thakur, Youth Seva Medal, Sena Medal, mentioned dispatches, one of the best guys to have passed out from my batch. And रैंक वगैरह की कोई जिंदगी में अहमियत नहीं है. अहमियत है कि आप इंसान कितने अच्छे बने हो, कितने लोगों की जिंदगी आपने बदली है. एंड योर जर्नी हैज बिन, संजय, बहुत दिनों से मैं सोच रहा था कि ये हम करेंगे. व्हाट अ प्लेजर इट हैज बीन टू हैव यू ऑन दिस शो. एंड दिस इज ऑन अन अकेडमी where millions of children are every day on this platform for some inspiration or education.
Thank you. Yes, I am also honored. I am really honored that you have given me a platform. I maintain a low profile. I do not even like to get photographed. I don't like to get photographed.
I have to get you out of your shell.
So I am very grateful to you, and I hope the children, youth, all benefit. Anytime you want any questions, you are free to ask me.
So we will have a few more sessions. What I will do, I'll say goodbye to the YouTube. I'll just say goodbye to the YouTube, and then we will have few 5-10 minutes with people who are on the Zoom, who have been specially selected and have been invited. उनके कुछ questions हम लेंगे. तो मैं सबसे पहले thank you very much for the YouTube audience. You've been a fantastic audience, and this is a must-watch interview. Thank you, and Jai Hind to all of you on YouTube. Now we will